Welcome back, fellow shop rats. Today we are back on the 26 Oakland, and we've got packages associated with the project. And rather than spoil it, give me 5 seconds to introduce the channel, and we'll be right back. I'm Mike.
This is My Cars Shop.
I've had a package here for several weeks now. Haven't even had a chance to open it, and wanted to open it on camera with you guys. We've got a bit of something here that goes here. And it might surprise you what it is. So let me lay a little background. First of all, Dad's on his way. He should be here soon, and we'll be working on this together as usual. But one of the big problems that I've got with this car is finding rear view mirrors to go on the outside edge of the car. Now, I've had a lot of suggestions like door edge mirrors, which I have a set, and they don't work because these doors fit too tight to the body. And hinge pin mirrors, which is fine if your hinge pins haven't been in your car for 97 years, they won't come out. And I tried that too. Remember, we're not restoring this car. We're not molesting its cosmetics at all. And I don't want to go in there and doing what I know that I would have to do to replace those hinge pins. So we're leaving that alone. So I started thinking outside the box, and what could we possibly do that we could use to give ourselves a whole plethora.
That's a big word, like gymnasium.
A rear view that will make it much safer for us to be driving this car. And so I got a little creative, and I applied my technical mind, since I do work in technology, and came up with a solution. So it's right here, I hope. Let's open this thing up. Tear here to open.
I tore there, and it's open.
We have a car rear view camera security system. Seems like a simple solution. Just pour it in and it works, right? It's 12 volt. It's a 6-volt car. So then I got thinking, well, how can we make this work there? And lo and behold, I came up with something else that might work. It is a 6-volt to 12-volt step-up converter. Now, I've not used one of these before in this application. I've used these before in other applications, not necessarily this specific one, but you know what I'm saying is we're going to have to get a little creative and see how we can make this work. It even comes in a anti-static bag.
It means it shouldn't fight back. It won't give me any static at all.
Let's open up the box and see what our car rear view camera security system looks like. It looks like it has instructions. It looks like it has a power supply. That's the TV screen. It's a big one. It looks like it has the suction cup mount, which is what I was hoping for. It has a cigarette lighter adapter, which we won't use, but maybe we will. It has wire to run to the back of the car and other stuff. And then there's also this handy dandy license plate mount. Now, I don't know how we're going to do this back there. I haven't thought about it too much yet because I hadn't looked at it until right now. But here's our little handy dandy camera, and it goes on the license plate. So I got an idea already just by looking at this. So let's go see if my little idea will work. I think it will. We'll have to be a little creative, but I don't think it's going to interfere much with the numbers. And we can put it under there like that, upside down, and that should do the job. I was hoping we could go this way with it, but the camera is going to hit the tail light, and I didn't think about that. Now, we do have another option, and it's raining, so I'm not going to go over there, but over on that side of the car, there's another license plate bracket with no license plate, so we could put it over there. It still may interfere with that light. What I'm going to do till Dad gets here is spend some time just kind of looking at the instructions and making a determination on exactly how this is going to work. The one advantage that I think we have is we don't have to come right off the battery on this car, because this is a negative ground system. If this was a positive ground system, that could be a problem for the functionality of this, because all the power wires in the car would be negative.
They'd have a bad attitude. They'd probably be depressed.
Does anybody know who these two people are? Just curious. So I got the camera mounted on the dash. I'll show you in a minute. It's just a suction cup. It's easy to do, but I decided since I'm still waiting for Dad, I pull the actual rearview mirror out of this thing real quick. It's floppy and flops around, and it's a floppier than a floppy thing. So thought I would see about fixing that while we're at it. Because, you know, hindsight's 2020. Not in that car. But we're trying to get there. Well, there we go. So we'll set that over there, and we're going to see about, let me show you what's going on here. Our little ball is loose and spins. So we're going to see if we can tighten that thing up. I got some ideas. Otherwise, we will just TIG weld it. Well, that was about 7 hours of stupidity. Quite that bad, but we wanted to do proof of concept on this first, so I hooked just the camera and the screen up to the battery charger, and it turned on, which is all I was hoping for. It was very dirty in its picture, but I figured it was because of a battery charger. It's not a digital. So then the next step was to hook up the inverter to the 6-volt in the car, which I did. Nothing worked. And to realize that I had put the 6 volts into the 12-volt side, and it doesn't convert 6 volts through the 12-volt side back through the 6-volt side out here to give us 12 volts. So finally turned it around, and if we plug it in, it turns on like so. You want to hold that down? Yep. And then we can, you see us? Yep, there we go. Show them. So it works. And so I think we can go to the next step now and go ahead and get it put in the car. Okay, so here's my thinking. I think I want to put this in the cigarette lighter for 2 reasons. One, when you're out and about, if you have to charge your phone, you can unplug this and plug your phone in. That should charge the cell phone, I think. We'll have to check the amperage. Okay. This is a, what did I say it was? A 3 amp, 12-volt circuit, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have to see if that's enough to run a cigarette lighter or not. It's probably going to depend upon how strong of a phone charger it is. But in an emergency is my thinking.
Yeah.
The second thing is then this has an on-off switch. So we can not have to have that on all the time. We can punch the button and turn it on when we want to use it.
Okay.
Third thing I'm thinking is, we've got to look. Grandpa had a light under the dash there. I'm thinking we can take that light receptacle out if it's big enough. Put the cigarette lighter right in there and just plug this into that spot.
Okay.
Maybe not, but I've obviously, it's got a bracket with a round hole in it. So if we hook it up there, then we don't have to be mounting something else under the dash. And
sure.
That may not work, but we can try.
Yeah. Do you have any idea what the light thing was for?
It comes directly off the back of the amp meter, so it's direct. It's unfused, which bothers me a little bit, but we may put a fuse in that.
Yeah,
But
that sounds like a good idea.
we also never ever leave this with the battery hooked up unless we're in it. So
yeah,
you know, I no car. Scoops is the only exception of all the cars around here. That's the only one I leave the battery hooked up because I don't trust any of them. So many shops have burnt down because guys have left their batteries hooked up, and it's, you know, in this case 100-year-old wiring.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of guys are very anal about making sure that if you do a car like this, you need to replace all the wiring. I'm not so much. I just take precautions.
Sure.
So if I burn a car down or a shop down, whoops. But I always make, I mean, I'm paranoid about it. I come out every night I've been working on stuff. I go around, check all the cars, make sure the batteries are all disconnected, make sure the shop power's off. It's just a habit. My OCD kicks in. So, you know, yeah, we could have an issue going down the road, but the wire is literally this long from the amp meter to that bracket. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Am I terribly worried about it? No.
Just need to be sure it's heavy enough, right?
Yeah, it's a good heavy wire. So
yeah, okay.
So yeah, if we're gonna put I don't know what the amp draw would be on that. If we're gonna chop it and put a fuse in it, we'd probably put like a 10 amp inner or something. But I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. But that's my thinking. So anything else I'm missing?
We need to pick up a cigarette lighter.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. And as far as you know, a cigarette lighter, you tend to think of something that's high voltage.
Right.
But we aren't going to use it for that anyway.
Right.
It's just to supply power for lesser
Correct.
demands.
Yes, and actually they're changing now because of politicalness. Cigarette lighting is not politically correct anymore, so they're called power ports or whatever.
Oh,
O'Reilly's or one of those should have them, but they don't call them cigarette lighters anymore because you don't buy a car that has a cigarette lighter in it. But they do have 12-volt power sources.
okay.
Crazy world.
Yep.
Okay. Well, okay. So I think the place to start is to see if our power outlet will fit in that bracket that's in there, and if not, we'll need to get this on there.
Okay.
Once we determine where that is, then we can start figuring out wire links and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
The other thing, and I already showed them, but I didn't show you. We have two options on mounting this. It won't mount on the license plate the way it's supposed to, like this, because the taillight is right up here.
Oh,
So we can put it on this way, and it works, and it covers just a little bit of one of the numbers on the plate. Not bad. The other option, well, we can modify it. I'd rather not. We could put it on the license plate bracket on the other side of the car.
oh,
I'm not sure that's a good idea for a couple of reasons. One, there's no license plate on it. It's kind of weird. But the other one is, I think I'd rather have it closer to the center line than the ditch.
yeah.
I don't know why. I haven't seen what it looks like to know if it's going to make any difference, but somehow I feel like closer to the center of the road gives us a better pan of what's behind. So if there's a car, particularly on this side,
Yeah.
you're going to see it better. So,
Yep.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. So I think putting it upside down is going to be fine. It may not. We may need to bend this. Oh, it's adjustable, so we're fine. It's got a little screw to pivot.
Okay.
So once we get it in there, we'll have some tweaking to do. But
Okay.
so yeah, let's get the power outlet for the old school guys, the cigarette lighter, in the car first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. It's looks like it's pinched right there. So
Okay.
maybe just beyond that a little bit, and then there's enough wire to use it again, or is that enough now for?
Pull it over where you think that bracket's going to be. I think so.
Oh, there's a hole here.
Okay. If that's where if we can use that hole to mount that, then I would say that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Oh, let's leave a little extra there.
Okay. The battery's disconnected, so that line's dead. Okay, yeah, it's just a little, I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's a cool little light.
Yeah.
So we've tested everything in the car. The power inverter is working good. We had a ground issue. Dad's just bolting the inverter up now inside the dash, and we should be good to go. So if you want to disconnect that power outlet from the wiring, go ahead so you have some more room in there without messing with that. Just pop it off of that, yeah.
Okay.
Make yourself a little easier.
Now the red's gonna go
Yes.
to that side. And let's see.
You were, yeah, I don't remember which way you were going with it. Red's got to go the other way. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, I wanted to get that up.
Yeah, and you wanted to drop the bolt down, right? Yep, okay. So we're using the backside of the bracket that we had to bend so that this wouldn't twist. We had a little bump in it like this, and so it worked out really good to mount that inverter on.
Back together here.
Okay, Dad's putting the cigarette lighter, the power outlet back in. Just showing you where we got the camera mounted. I don't think we did that. Also, earlier I fixed this mirror. I don't know if we talked about that. So it's no longer floppy.
Where is the camera?
I'm holding it. Oh, the other camera. Okay. I don't know. Just go ahead and push the power button. There we go. And then over here, you should see, there we go. It's pointing down somewhere. It's probably on the running board or something. There it is. Voila. Look at that. Works. Cool. So what we decided to do is put a couple of female spade connectors on there. This ran over to that light that was over there before, where that cigarette lighter is plugged in now. But we felt like we wanted to put a fuse. This comes directly off the back of the ammeter, and we shrink wrapped it all the way up quite a ways to protect it. But so we only have this little bit that's unfused. I feel like that's much safer now that we're adding a bunch more stuff with an inverter and everything. So if something goes haywire, that'll blow and not cause a fire. For some reason, I'm a little paranoid about that. So I don't know where the fuse is, but I'll go grab it real quick. And there we go. A little 20 amp fuse in there. We'll probably find a way to make it a little prettier, but for now it's good. You want to punch the button over there? Are we still plugged in?
I know. Yep.
And our camera's on. So there we go. Now we just got to get the camera in the back of the car. Go from there. Okay, so it is going to cover this a little more than I had hoped, but I think it's going to be fine. We can always move it if we get in trouble, but I don't think we will. Cop's not smart enough to see that's a 9. We have bigger issues in the world. So we're going to temporarily wire this up on the outside of the car to make sure it works, and then we'll go from there. So here's what we've got so far. And you guys probably are way ahead of us, and you already realized it was going to do this. Works good, except it's upside down because we put the hey Dad, we put the camera in upside down. So we got to modify the bracket to make this work. But so we'll get it flipped over back there, and should have realized that. But I'm so used to smartphones that autocorrect for this stuff, I didn't think about it. So I fixed it. This may not be the best solution, but I realized all we had to do was throw that on the floor. Yeah. So that's the only downside is it's I just flipped the screen. And let's right side up now. We're going to try it like this, and we may decide to go ahead and modify the bracket in the back. Give us a minute to ponder here. So we thought about it and decided that we're going to go ahead and do it the right way and not flip everything upside down. So we're going to modify the bracket to clear the tail light. This is a fabrication shop. If we can't handle that, we have problems. And it's not going to be real high-tech fabrication either. It's just going to be some rebending. I'm pleased with the way that works, though. That looks really nice. And just like that, we have a camera. So now we got to run wires. Yay. But it's progress. There's our little cam. Now we got to figure out where to run the wires. I don't really want to drill a hole in the body, so we may have to go under the car some. I want that connector inside the car if possible. Just make life better. But we'll figure it out. I'm thinking we can go through that tin pan under the rear seat and just drill a nice 1-inch hole.
Yeah.
And put a grommet on that. So.
Okay.
All right, we got the wires all run under the car. That was a fun thing, but it's all zip tied up and in good shape. So right now we're just curling it up. We're going to drill a little hole in the back there to run the wire up, and then we'll run it under the kick pan and get it up under the dash and figure out where we're going from there. So progress. You want to leave about 6 feet and just we'll zip tie that temporarily.
Like so?
Yeah, probably more than that. We'll have to redo it. That's probably good. Yeah.
Okay.
Zip ties it right there. Okay, so Dad, we got that up into the battery box. Dad's running the wire up behind the dash to get it connected to the TV screen.
Where are we? Coming down right here?
Yeah, I laid that up on top of the heater box, so it's just loose in there.
Okay.
That's why I wanted one of those adhesive things to kind of go back in here, so it would pull that back, you know.
Yeah. Where do we want to? Would it be a good idea to like hang this up there somewhere?
Well, that's like I was saying. I want it tied up in here with one of those adhesive things,
Okay.
and then kind of over here, and then yeah,
Okay.
we can put
So
another.
we couldn't get any of those, right?
Not today. We couldn't. I could drill a hole and zip tie here, but up in here I can't. I gotta have
Right.
something. We could use a piece of Gorilla Tape temporarily to get it routed where we want it until I can get to the office and get one of those.
Okay.
Although I think the only ones I have are white. But we may be able to get one at the auto parts that's black. So O'Reilly's didn't have it, but a standard auto parts might. They're just closed as of 1 o'clock. So
Yeah.
okay, I'll get some Gorilla Tape and we'll.
Are there any kind of like wire clips that, this is a straight metal edge here that would clip over that and the wire hang from it?
Yeah, probably.
And then you could just, take it across here, go
Mhm.
above.
Pull your slack back and yeah. Okay, let's use Gorilla Tape temporarily till we figure that part out. And at least it'll be routed where we want it, and our lengths will all be good.
Yeah.
We were just getting ready to take that for a test drive, and I went and get the mail, and we have a package. Dad, why don't you open it? I do all the unboxing since you're here. Come around this side. All the things for this car. This is probably one of the things I'm most excited about.
Well, this is for this car.
It is, yep.
Okay. It's not a gear shifter knob.
It's not a shift knob.
Okay. It's round. Aha. Motometer.
We have a motometer.
Voice.
So Boyce is the aftermarket version, period correct. Right after I made the deal with the guy on this one, the guy posted a link to one on eBay that was an original Oakland one for $250. I said, no. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was hoping for. I didn't want a brand new one. I wanted something that was going to match the shape of the car.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice to have had an Oakland one, but for $75,
Yeah.
they don't care if it functions because we've got the capillary tube gauge. So
And basically it looks the same, right?
exactly. Yeah, the other one has an Oakland emblem on it, but
Yeah.
so yeah, let's take the radiator cap off and see if we can put it on there.
Yeah. Well, does this go in the center of that?
Yep, you can see the cup. It's broke off.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So, okay, you want to see if that fits that one? Let's see if I broke. Well, this has been out of here before. It's got a big lock washer on it. But, yep, the right thread. Perfect.
Golly.
All right, I'm going to grab a hammer and give this a tappy tap.
And you said it's been on there 100 years.
I don't know if that's an original washer or not. I would think it would have had a flat, like a gasket sealing kind of thing, but
Oh,
is there a seal on the top of that? No, of course we don't really care. I'm certainly not going to get that off. Go ahead and put it on there. It's not a pressurized system, so
so we don't need anything in here?
nope. And then this part will face backwards. Yep, just like that.
Oh, that's right. Because you want to be able to read that from
If it worked, yes.
if it were.
Okay, cool.
Just use these again?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's paybacks. I was just telling him, I said, hold on, I got to get the camera going again. I said, I'd feel bad about it, except he used to be a professional photographer, and I used to have to wait for the camera all the time. So,
Oh, yeah.
before you get too snug, make sure it's square.
Yeah. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yep. Yep.
And of course, I always had to change film. In
Oh
those
yeah.
days.
Oh, yeah, those days. It's the only time I knew you had more than one eye. Yep. Oh, that looks awesome. Cool. Very nice.
Put it on the car.
Go for it. Just don't drop it. It's another project for another day, is to get that thread figured out. Now we really got to be careful. Can you go around one more, you think, or is it too tight? Probably not, eh?
I think that's pretty good.
Probably be time to replace our duct tape seal.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh, that looks so awesome. Very good. Okay, well.
It's done, but
I shut it off.
oh, you did? It's back.
Gotta watch where I'm going instead of where I've been. Staying on now. That'll be something Chris and I can pick our brains about next weekend. Staying good now. It's gonna take a while to get used to looking down there. Staying on so far.
Yeah.
When I need it, it goes out. Bet you anything it needs a capacitor.
Something to smooth out the current.
Got back just in time. So Dad's heading home, and we got the Oakland scooted in the garage over there, and trying to leave this bay open just for convenience sake, so I can get that truck done. Haven't been able to work on it again for a couple of weeks because of life and the weather, but we will be back on it again. So there are some glitches and bugs in the camera system. I'm not sure if it's because I'm using a shared ground between the 6 volt and the 12 volt, or if maybe we need a capacitor in there to clean up the noise that's coming from the 6 volt system. Chris is going to be here in a week, and I'm sure that we'll spend much time discussing. In fact, we'll probably spend time discussing beforehand, but we'll get that figured out. And there's plenty of options, is what I'm trying to say. So that'll do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one.
Rock!
A week before we filmed today's episode, Becky and I were out for a little putt and decided to take it to the gas station and gas it up. This was the first time it had ever been to a gas station in over 75 years. Gas station.